$10 ones with the $500.
Try to make yourself feel better.
Okay. Call the June 22nd, 2020 City Council Committee of the Whole to order. The clerk will call the roll.
Rivolo,
Here.
Brereton,
Here.
Flurry,
Here.
Frank,
Here.
Freeman,
Here.
McGee,
Here.
Porter,
Here.
Ratcliffe, absent, Snow,
Here.
Stevens,
Here.
9 in participation.
Thank you. I wanted to remind the council that even though this is committee of the whole, votes will be taken by roll call as per the new ruling. First up, under public comment, I believe there are a couple of things the city attorney has to read.
Actually, one is a public comment forwarded by Fred Brereton of Allen Street. I will read it verbatim as best I can. Mr. Brereton says, "It is with genuine concern and love for the city of Belvedere that this public comment is presented to you for your consideration and response. There's a lot of angst within our community as a result of the mayor's announcement at the last city council meeting and more recently with the press conference held on the morning of June 18th regarding plans for a community rally and procession for the community building to the State Street Bridge and back to the community building." Excuse me. Members of the Belvedere Social Justice and Peace Society, formerly known as Black Lives Matter, are planning this activity. The purpose of this public comment is not intended to address the merits of the activity, but rather to address the manner in which it has been presented to the community. Belvedere's city code, while far from perfect, has served the city of Belvedere well for decades. Failure to follow the code in this instance has resulted in unnecessary confusion and a lack of understanding by members of the city council and the community as a whole. Article 6, Section 110-386, which deals with parades and processions, begins with a declaration of intent and reads, quote, "It is the intention of the City Council to recognize the constitutional rights of persons freely to assemble, while also recognizing the right of the City Council to impose reasonable restrictions on the time, place, and manner of such parades or processions. Specifically, without intending to limit the lawful authority of police officers and other public officials, the City Council declares its intent to place the responsibility on the sponsor of such an event." End quote. Section 110-387 then describes the permitting process for applicants to follow. This process has been in place for decades and has been used by the Veterans of Foreign Wars, American Legion, Belvedere Area Chamber of Commerce, Belvedere Park District, Belvedere Community Unit School District 100, the IOU Club, Alerta, and the Boone County 4th of July Heritage Days Committee. The complete sections 110, 386, and 387 are attached for the record, but are not being requested to be read aloud as part of this public comment. Thank you, Mr. Brereton. Had this administrative process been followed, the goal of Belvedere Social Justice and Peace Society to involve as many people as possible to be a part of this would have been enhanced. As it is now, absent the proper issuance of a city permit, it should be known to be an unlawful procession. Before there can be social justice, there must be justice. What is the true meaning of justice? According to Google, it is the quality of being just, righteousness, equitableness, and moral rightness. To uphold the justice of a cause, the maintenance or administration of what is just by law, as by judicial or other proceedings, a court of justice. End quote. We shouldn't ignore these 7 words, quote, administration of what is just by law, end quote. Therefore, it would be counterproductive to formally introduce the Belvedere Social Justice and Peace Society to the Belvedere community through an unlawful event. In closing, it should also be noted a great deal of the community angst is caused by the fact that several properly permitted events have already been canceled due to COVID-19. It would be best for the small group discussions to continue to take place for the remainder of the year and begin to plan for 2021. Therefore, since we have been justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. Romans 5:1, English Standard Version. Respectfully submitted, Fred Brereton.
Do you have something else to read this evening? Okay. Next up, under public forum, we have none this evening. Under reports of officers, boards, and special committees, under item 1, public safety unfinished business, we have none. Under public safety new business, under A, Belvedere Fire Department hiring Robert Gunstein, and there are comments from the city attorney that need to be heard concerning that.
There was a memo in your packet from the fire chief relating to this issue. I want to make the city council aware that this is really an FYI. There's no motion, not only not needed, but even proper this evening. This hiree is a replacement for a firefighter that has retired. And this policy of the city and past procedures have been, the Fire and Police Commission simply fills that vacancy when it occurs. It's not a new position, it's an existing position. The offer has already been extended by the Fire and Police Commission prior to this being put in the packets. The council has no authority whatsoever to hire, fire, or discipline members of the police department or fire department. That's all handled through the Police and Fire Commission. So really, this is an FYI that they're filling the vacancy of the firefighter that has retired.
As an FYI, this requires no further action this evening. Under B, Belvedere Police Department, we have the Gordon and Linda Neese annual donation. Would you like to make a comment, Chief, or do you want to just go ahead?
I was just going to read into the record, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Notice of donation. Please be advised that the Belvedere Police Department is in receipt of a donation of $1,500 from Gordon and Linda Neese. Mr. and Mrs. Neese have made annual donations to the police department for many years, which have provided funding for needed equipment for the department. I'm requesting approval from the City Council to accept their donation again this year. I'd like to make a motion to accept the donation of $1,500, check number 601-856-283 from Gordon and Linda Neese.
May I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Stevens, second, please.
I'll second it.
Frank, oh, excuse me. She beat you to it. Additional questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor?
I have one.
Okay, please proceed.
I
ahead.
have one.
Go ahead.
So, Chief, in the past, when Mr. and Mrs. Nisi have made these donations, Chief Noble would tell us a big item that the police department was looking to purchase with this. Do you have something in mind that, like, the very desks, I believe, was one of the things that he was looking to get? Do you have something in mind to spend this on?
Nope, not at this time. That's something that we are still discussing and would bring back to the council at that time.
Additional questions or comments concerning the motion on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton, Brereton,
Was that an aye, Rick?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Flurry,
Yeah.
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
9 in approval.
So the motion is approved unanimously. Thank you. Under item number 3, Finance and Personnel, unfinished business, this evening there is none. Under number 4, Finance and Personnel, new business, we have a couple of items. Item A, the appointments of James Lee and Wendy LaFaus to the IDA Public Library Board. These were recommendations that were made to us by the library board, and we find them to be adequate and actually excellent choices. I would entertain a motion to approve these appointments.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, a motion by Alderman Stevens, second by Alderman Arivalo. Questions, comments, or further discussions concerning the motion now on the floor?
I just had a general question.
Okay?
So I've noticed we do a lot of library board trustee appointments. So is there a pretty high, how many board members do they have, and is there a pretty high turnover? Do people not stay long?
Okay. Please.
We have 9 board members.
The last couple of years, we've had some turnover. We have a new library director. We have some people who have retired. So we try to keep a full board whenever possible for any of the organizations that we work with. So it's not unusual to have a couple of year turnover in the library board. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just noticing that we do these quite often.
Any additional questions concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
9 in favor.
The appointments are approved unanimously, which brings us to item B, which is the reappointment of Bonnie Beck to another term to the Community Building Complex Committee. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I think Alderman Frank will beat you to it, and second by Alderman Fleury. Thank you. Questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
9 in favor.
The appointment of Bonnie Beck is approved unanimously. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, under other, under A, we have the revised 2020 MFT Street Maintenance Program, Pandemic Reduction. Supervisor Anderson will address the council.
Okay, I'm a rookie at this. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Okay. Basically, it's in your packet, and it's pretty self-explanatory. We needed to get rid of some of the motor fuel tax overlay, and we elected to eliminate Appleton Road as that project, and we are keeping all the residential streets in the overlay project.
A motion to approve the revised street maintenance program pandemic reduction.
I'd like to make that motion.
A motion by Alderman Stevens. May I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
Second by Alderman Arivalo. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Yes, Alderman Arivalo.
Will we still get that grant from the state that we're going to utilize this for, like, Appleton? Or was that Logan? Logan, never mind.
Yes, that is correct.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval?
I have one.
Alderman Freeman, please proceed.
So under the assumptions part, I think, is Danny there tonight? There's no allowance for any repairs or upgrades to the existing electrical panels or conduits or circuits.
What are you talking about?
Welcome, and thank you for choosing FreeConferenceCall.com. You're helping people around the world communicate for free. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign. You entered 1065882. If this is correct, press 1. To re-enter your access, there are 5 participants in the conference.
And Mr.
Please announce yourself.
This proposal,
Well,
and they're assuming
Marcia?
that everything is in good working order and they don't have to do any upgrades to any of the panels or anything. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to upgrading, but I'm just wondering if we're going to be looking at additional expenses coming along.
Guys,
Voting on the
Alderman,
overlay,
Marcia?
not the
Alderman, this
Yeah.
is City Hall. We just got back on the line. We were kicked off for a few moments, so anything you said, we did not hear. For the record, Madam Clerk, you may want to reestablish who's present remotely so that we know who's still on the line, in case anybody else got dropped off.
I'm just going to take roll call again. Arivalo,
Present.
Brereton,
Here.
Flurry,
Here.
Frank,
Here.
Freeman,
Here.
McGee,
Here.
Porter,
Here.
Snow,
Here.
Stevens,
Here.
9 in participation.
And Alderman Freeman, before we got disconnected, you were asking a question. The people here in City Hall weren't really understanding what the question is. Do you want to repeat that?
Yeah, so I was just wondering, under the assumptions, this is assuming that there doesn't need to be any upgrades to our existing electrical panels, conduit circuits, and that there won't need to be any repairs to the K800 FIT and other stuff. So I'm just wondering if, we might be looking at another expense to this coming up, or if this stuff is all in pretty good shape and we're good to go.
I think you're actually addressing item 5B, the fuel system. We're still on 5A.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess that's my next question.
Mr. Mayor, I'd suggest we dispose of 5A and then
Okay.
Mr. Anderson can address the
We had a motion
question.
and a second for revised 2020 MFT Street Maintenance Program and Pandemic Reduction. Any further questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in approval will, when their name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously, which then brings us to item B, the fuel system software replacement for the street department. Supervisor Anderson?
Thank you. Basically, we're updating our computers everywhere throughout the city. Am I correct there, Mr. Drella? Yes. Right now, we're operating on Windows 10 with that system, and, I'm sorry, Windows. Okay. I don't know all this computer stuff. Regardless, we need to update that system for when we get our new computers. We will have support. We're about to run out of support with the Windows, whatever Drella just told you, and we are just trying to get ahead of the game here. I think I can answer what Marcia was talking about. All the electric and conduits will all, they're in place. I'm pretty sure we don't need to change the wiring while we're doing this. Pretty much a plug-and-play kind of thing. And there's a little note down there that Alderman Fleury called me on earlier about the key cards that we have in place and whether or not they'll be transferable. And our hope is that, we should be able to take a USB or a zip drive or whatever you call them, little flash drives, there you go, and transfer that data to the new system when that time comes.
Additional questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Alderman Fleury, did you have any other comments concerning this motion?
No.
Okay. All those in favor of approval, will, and your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
I need a first and a second.
Excuse me? Oh, well, we should do that first.
I'd like to
May I have
make
a
that
motion,
motion.
please? Alderman Stevens comes through with the motion.
I'll second that.
Second by Revelo. Now, any additional questions or comments concerning the motion on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Freeman,
I believe Alderman Porter had a question.
Alderman Porter, do you have a question?
Yeah, I did. I just had a quick question. I was just wondering if we had gotten any other bids from any other companies on this one, or are they the only one that can actually do this type of work?
We got the proposal from the original contractor who installed this several years ago, and they are the
The reality, Alderman Porter, is we have to replace the system because the computers currently operating, the software for the system are, quite frankly, ancient, and we need to replace them because they're ready to die. The current software will not work on Windows 10, which is why we have to upgrade the software package as well. But because, as was mentioned by Mr. Anderson, we are still reusing the majority of the system, we cannot go to a different vendor. We have to use the same vendor so that all the equipment will actually talk to each other and work.
Does that satisfy
Okay.
your question, Alderman Porter?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I wanted to, yes,
FYI, Clark Mosquito will be here next Monday evening at dusk to do our initial spray, from dusk to dawn, next Monday on the 29th.
okay. We'll put that on the website.
Alderman Snow would like to make a comment.
Yes, Alderman Snow. Go ahead.
So I had gotten several comments from people regarding the upcoming march, and they were not positive comments. And I think it is something to be said that, A, we are going to incur overtime with the police department, and there's no funding for that. The fact is they didn't do the parade permit, and I'll give you that as well. The other issue is we went and canceled. This was probably the same weekend, if I recall correctly, that our Heritage Day was going to occur and have regular parade, and yet we cancel all that, but we allow a peace march. And for something that a lot of people in town are not a big fan of, this activity occurring in the first place. And I just wanted to voice that opinion. And also, I surely hope that everybody's going to do the social distancing and be wearing masks.
So noted.
That's all.
Any additional questions or comments before we close the meeting? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make the motion to adjourn.
A motion by Alderman Stevens, a second, please.
I'll second that.
Second by Alderman Revelo. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are now adjourned.